Welcome to Mika Amchi Yisrael. In Parashat Pekudei, our pasuk introduces the magnificent choshen. Vayaset choshen ma'aseh choshev k'ma'aseh efod. He made the breastplate of woven design. The choshen was designed to hold 12 stones, and each was carefully placed, and each was an integral part of its divine design. But among them were stones called avnei miluim, filling stones. At first glance, the name seems secondary. It's almost as if they were just there to occupy empty space. But let's put this into perspective. Imagine a newly engaged bride who just received her diamond ring. Would she ever describe it as a setting with a hole that was filled by a diamond? Of course not. The diamond is the essence of the ring, the most precious and defining part. The setting exists for the diamond, not the other way around. So why were these stones called avnei miluim if they were just fillers? Reb Shmuel Birnbaum Zatzal replies with something profound. Their role was their greatness. These stones completed the choshen, and without them, the entire structure was lacking. And herein lies one of life's greatest truths. The true greatness is not about standing out, but rather filling in. It's not about how much we shine. It's about how much we complete what's missing in other people. This idea isn't just theoretical, it plays out in real life and in real moments. Afford me the privilege of sharing. A few weeks after the 10/7 attacks of 2023, Rabbi Chaim Zaid received a desperate call from a man near Beersheba. "We need you," the man pleaded. "People are in pain. They lost loved ones. They need chizuk." This particular fellow was organizing Achnasat Sefer Torah, believing it would bring healing to the community. But Rabbi Zaid had already committed to 2 speaking engagements in the north. Traveling south in time for this event, it seemed impossible. And yet, something in the man's voice stirred inside him. He agreed to go. After completing his northern engagements, exhausted and determined, Rabbi Zaid set out for the south. But his driver refused to continue. "It's too far. I'm too tired," he said. And so the rabbi drove himself. A 3-hour trip turned into 5. Traffic, accidents, and delays. But he pushed forward, telling himself, people are waiting. People need chizuk. When he finally arrived, something was off. The Beit Knesset was dark. There was no music. No chuppah, no crowds. He checked the address and it was correct. Then a passerby told him, "Oh, Rabbi Zaid, didn't you hear? This event was postponed until next week." But no one had informed him. 5 grueling hours for nothing. Frustrated but composed, he went to the donor's house. He knocked on the door. A woman answered. "I see you came all this way," she said, "but the event isn't until next week. Could I speak to your husband for a moment?" She left the door slightly ajar, and Rabbi Zaid saw her husband lying on the couch reading a newspaper. "Rabbi Zaid is here," she whispered. The man barely looked up. "Just tell him I'm not available. Close the door." And she did. For a moment, Rabbi Zaid was stunned. 5 hours, no event, no apology, and no explanation. Anger began to rise within him, as you could imagine, but then he stopped. This is a test. He had spoken about bitachon, about rising above anger, about trusting Borei Olam. Now was time to live it. He whispered to himself, "What happens is from Borei Olam. I will not let anger win. I will be mevater." He got into his car, turned on the music, and he let go. Before heading home, though, he needed gas, so he stopped at a local gas station in Beersheba, and as he entered, a man spots him. "Rabbi Zaid, is that really you? I can't believe this." The man rushed over, tears streaming down his eyes. "I just came from a house sitting Shiva for a soldier killed on October 7th. The mother is broken. She said the only thing that might bring her comfort is if Rabbi Chaim Zaid would come and see her. Her son loved your shiurim. He even took an MP3 filled with your shiurim into Gaza." Rabbi Zaid said, frozen. He had not been misdirected. He had not endured exhaustion, the frustration, the insult. Had he not, he never would have been here at this precise moment. He followed the man to the Shiva home, and upon arrival, the mother looked up and gasped, "Borei Olam sent you." Rabbi Zaid sat with her. He listened. He gave her words of comfort and emunah. Before he left, he paused by the mezuzah, turned to the grieving mother, put his hand out. "Tonight, I had a test. I was hurt. I was really angry. But just then I caught myself. I forgave that person. It certainly wasn't easy. And now I want to take that zechut and I want to give that to you. And in the merit of overcoming this test, may you be blessed to have another child this year." And the room erupted in a resounding Amen. And a year later, almost to the day, that woman gave birth to a baby boy. At the Brit Milah, Rabbi Zaid was the sandak, and the baby was named Asaf Haim. Asaf, after the boy she had lost, Chaim, after Rabbi Zaid. Ladies and gentlemen, Rabbi Zaid thought his mission was to deliver a speech. Instead, his true mission was to deliver hope. He thought he was meant to stand in front of a crowd, but Borei Olam sent him to stand beside a grieving mother. How often do we think we know where we belong? How often do we chase our own plans only to realize that Borei Olam has been guiding us in an entirely different mission? We're not here to chase our own light. We're here to fill the darkness where others have none. The Avnei Miluim weren't placed in the Choshen to stand out. They were placed there to complete something greater than themselves. And so are we. Because those who seek to shine, they may be remembered. But those who fill what is missing, they're never forgotten. And when we step into the mission that Borei Olam has written for us, when we stop trying to create our own light, which tends to fizzle out, and instead become the missing piece in someone else's world, we don't just witness the miracles, we become them. Shabbat shalom u'mevorach.